I wanted to bring up the topic of I've got a real problem at the moment. It's really making me angry, and I mentioned it on my podcast. I think I touched on it, and the title of it is America's problems and America's struggles are not our struggles or our problems. How do you interpret that?
Well, I was going to ask you to elaborate because I don't really know what you mean.
Depends.
Because there's arguments for and against, so you might as well put your argument up
I
first.
feel like just everything at the moment, like every issue that comes out, we're just looking at the States that much. We hear these statistics, we hear these problems, we hear these issues, and we go, yeah, like, it is happening, this is happening, that's happening. Mainly with race. Cool.
I think, to be honest, it's a case that, as I've always said, man, are you trying to mash up the seats?
My bad, I'm getting vexed.
I think that in England, it's different. It's just that it's more covert. In America, they're blatantly racist. In England, they'll be sly.
Do you think that England's less racist than we actually think? Because we keep looking at the Americans, we're like, no, they must be racist.
I think the same.
Well, how do you quantify racism? You have a racist or not. So I think England is as racist as America, but as a people,
I don't think that's true.
We're generally more humble. Like Americans are extra with everything. Yeah, so if they're racist, they're extra racist.
Be in your face.
You know what I mean? But that's how they carry themselves.
Yeah.
Like even like just everything. Like look at footballers. Like our footballers do interviews and it's all PC, and then you see some of their athletes do interviews and it's like, yeah, we won the match. You know what I mean? It's like it's just different. It's a totally different culture. Yeah.
I think that the way that Americans mainly operate is more extrovert, as you're saying, and they're more open to just say, they're more openly just racist to your face. Whereas English people will try and allude to it, but not in a direct way. But you can.
I don't think that's true though. I feel like we're just making up mad comments and mad statements.
I think.
In what sense? What's a mad comment you've heard?
Just look like on the podcast, you guys say some statements, and I'm like. They're your opinions and you're entitled to them, but we just come out with mad stuff like, like there's more people that are like, here's less racist, or there's like just making stuff up, but we're all just making stuff up, and
but you have to understand that to the person listening,
and we're falling for every trap possible.
Now, what I'm saying is, to the person listening, they may hear it, just think it's made up, but to the person who's saying it, maybe life experience.
Yeah.
And it is life experience for myself, it is. But at the end of the day, I've had a racist situation this week.
Tell me.
The fact is, now I'm not going to go into it right now, I'll tell you off air.
Oh, okay.
But the fact is that it's completely blatantly racist, and this is a situation that people don't get. It's like, I get kids, as I was saying, I don't know if I said it last week, I get kids, some white kids that sit there and say, oh, I want to be black, I'd love to be black. And I'm like, yo, you couldn't handle this, you know. You can't deal with this. Your whole world would be completely different. You see, the way you act now, you can't act like that.
Do you think we're fueling? Do you think that we're fueling?
Nah.
Do you think we're dividing? Like, the more and more we talk about race, the more that we're separating people. Black people need a spokesperson. White people need a spokesperson.
Nah,
and then all of a sudden all we're thinking about is race.
I thought about it
because we're thinking about it in everything.
But like what you said about like it being made up and that. The thing is, a lot of the racism over here, or that I've experienced, is in one-on-one interactions. It's like, or even like, someone said to my daughter at school, like one of the kids, I'm allergic to brown skin. You know what I mean? And it's like...
How old?
She's 4. Okay. You know what I mean?
So that's what she said at home, clearly.
That's... Definitely. Yeah, that's what the person... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, that's just a... Like, my daughter doesn't know anything about it yet, but if someone said that to me in high school, I'm allergic to black skin, it's like... It's racism, but it's not... It's kind of back here, but at the same time, it's still... There's something to it, you know what I mean? There's something to it where when you're black, you just kind of feel like that could happen at any moment.
Do you feel like we're getting more and more stupid as well?
Define stupid.
So in a way,
are we getting more uneducated about things and more ignorant? Because I'm hearing mad arguments about, black people this, Jewish people that, Chinese people. You've spoke about a race. You've spoke about a religion, and you spoke about a
I hear
nationality.
that 100%.
Because I know black Jews in America.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about?
It's generalization.
But we and then we start talking about the Jews and the this and the that. That's America. Yes, we've got Jewish people here, but we're talking about the American Jews and the American slaves and this and that, and the American prison system. Our prison system's fucked too, but we don't really talk about our shit. Am I wrong? Or
I think in some ways you're wrong, just because you have to understand that the way that, first of all, what's the reason black people are in this country? Why they're here?
I've got no idea. We're trying to send them back at the moment. I've been asking myself for years.
I mean, but the fact is that this isn't our indigenous country. You get me? We were taken from our indigenous country regardless. So from that happening, I've heard a bear over the past few months like statement saying, yes, well, racism happens. However, you need to blame your own black people who sold you. So that's saying, don't blame me as the white man, blame yourself as the black man. That's what I've heard. That's what I'm seeing. Seeing bare comments. Now, the fact is that if someone wants to sit there and say to me, are we making this up? I'm making it up because I deal with racism every week. You know what I mean? I deal with the white man that may look at me a certain way.
Why the white man? What about
the Indian man who may say this or that about me? The racism I get from Indian people, for example. You have to understand that it's a case that because we do this all the time.
But there's no, we're just generalising. But you just said the Indian man. There's no black people in India.
I will tell you, I've had racism myself from Indian people. Me.
Yeah.
You get me? And the fact is that
is your wife Indian?
Yeah.
Is that the racism you're receiving?
Not from
her.
Yeah.
Are you alright, bro? You want to talk about this?
But the fact is that at the end of the day, I could have clapped down a man.
Yeah.
But I didn't. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I've got to hold myself responsible. I have to hold myself accountable to say, yo, you're racist to me. But the fact is, I'm not going to mirror that energy. I'm not going to bring it back to you. Because at the end of the day, what does that mean? It makes me as low as you. You see what I'm saying? Now, people have said to me on the podcast, people have said to me, Adrian, you're trying to divide everyone. You're not saying people need to come together. I get what you're saying, but the fact is I live in the real world.
No, but you do sometimes on the podcast.
I live in the real world. Where if I go out there and the police lick me down because of my skin colour, that's happening. What do you expect me to say to him? Oh, come give me a hug. Nah, mate, it's not happening. I live in the real world. Real facts is what happens. This uniting, everyone come together. Yes, it's great in theory, but I ain't talking about theory. I'm talking about the real world. Racism happens every day. This ain't no rosy like lollipops and
do you
hearts
think
and
racism is just?
Disneys.
Do you think racism is just for black people?
No.
Do you think that it's for everyody can be?
Every race will get it. Every race will get it.
Because there's theories where like some there's what's his name? There's some people that think racism can only happen to black people.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No.
And other than that, it's reverse racism.
Dr.
Umar Johnson. Yeah.
It can only happen to black
So
people.
Black people can't be racist.
Yeah, I hear you. That's his theory.
A lot of people say it.
It's a good theory, but I don't agree with it or believe it.
So you can't be racist when
what
you're
you just
the lowest.
Said, Adrian,
I don't agree with that.
No, you'd have to listen into it, and this is what I'm
you
just
can't
about
be
to say.
racist if you're the lowest.
If you're the lowest social class, then you can't be racist. But I don't really
because he's saying that it's not it's more reaction. So if somebody's racist to you and you're racist back, you're not racist back. It's a reaction to
of them.
But
I think technically it's wrong. Systematically it's right. But
Adrian, on the podcast, sometimes you said people have said that you sound like you're trying to divide. Sometimes you kind of do, but what I do from my experiences and how I've been brought up and things I've gone through racially is I listen to it, and then instead of going, "Yo, Adrian's racist," man, I go, "Hold on a minute, let me think what he means." And then I think about it, and whether I agree or disagree, I've had time to calm and think about it. And I think nowadays everybody's so quick to hear a comment, whatever it is, whether it's from Kanye or Childish Gambino or whoever, we hear these, or Trump, we hear these comments and we pop off, and we don't try to look deeper into the issues or deeper into what does he mean or why is he like that, and then try and work around things. We just jumping at each other, and I feel like we're jumping mainly onto the American shit.
You know what it is? like.
Sorry, Moves, man. We had to take it here, man.
Man, take it there, bro. Take it there, man. I'm just soaking it up, bro.
In terms of all the American stuff that's happening, sometimes I said it this week to one of my friends that there's only me as a person. There's only even so much I can take before it just starts ruining my day, because there's so much on the internet. It seems like black men getting beat up by police, like bear posts, put down. Now,
But I don't know.
let me finish. Let me finish. What I'm saying is that for me personally, I can't take seeing that every single day, all the time, because all that's doing is making me just focus on that one thing and stopping me from living my own life.
And it's making it
You see what
normal
I'm
for you.
It's making it normal.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, part of my mind's like, yo, you know, when you see, sometimes we're in a generation of like, yo, when you see something outrageous, you tag someone and you show them.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes some of these things, it's like I saw one thing the other day, and I was about to tag someone. I was like, you know what? I can't, because I don't want to ruin their day.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they might do.
You don't know how they're going to react to
I
that.
don't want to take what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like angry or whatever I'm feeling right now. I don't want to bring that to another person, because that's wrong with me. You get me? Because I think to myself, if you see it yourself, you see it, but I don't want the person to bring it to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, because of that, people may say, well, in terms of like clickbait, in terms of what you're saying, you see all that stuff with Kanye. I said, because we know what he's like, we always know that he's going to say something, but it means something else.
Yeah.
And even the Childish Gambino video, it's like, I didn't even say anything. I said, yo, it's a good piece of art and whatever.
Did you
And
deep that straight away?
I
Deep that. I didn't know that word. It was sick. I mean, when he was talking about deep it, I was like, because I feel detached from the culture. So I'm like, yeah, deeped it. Yeah, you deeped it, man. Did you deep that? Yeah, deeped it. Deeped it.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
oh gosh.
Oh. I'm behind.
But it's like,
I'm like, Abdullah, did you see it?
it's mad.
Moose, when you heard Kanye say, when you heard Kanye say, slavery's a choice, what was your initial thought on that?
Bro, to be honest with you, yeah, I am the worst geezer for when it comes to all this. Like Kanye, I don't follow him at all.
But you heard the comment.
I don't even know he said that.
Kanye said, slavery was a choice.
I just think that geezer just chats a load of gas, man. I think, me personally, I just think he's a troll. Because he does all this, he says all this controversial stuff and then he drops music.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? So you just do this like, he's going with Trump, but if everyone's going against Trump and he's the one going with him, do you know what I mean? That's going to build a lot of stuff for him to, do you know what I mean? I just think he is just a troll who's mastered the whole troll
Do you know what my initial thought was as soon as I heard it? I thought, and I guess you've done the Kanye talk, so we won't get into it. But I just thought, I took a light breath. Obviously, I thought this statement's ridiculous, but then I thought, let me think about it. And I thought, does he mean it was a choice for white people?
Nah.
What do you mean, no?
Basically, because he dropped
No, but when you hear that initial statement, before you hear the justification of it, when you hear that statement, everyone's gone, fuck you, Kanye. You can swear on here, innit?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Kanye. Like, and they're getting angry. But then I'm like, hang on a minute. Let me not jump down. Does he mean it was a choice for white people to choose to have slaves? Is he then going to go, nah? But then he ended up saying mental slavery. So I feel like we're jumping into things too quick and reading into things too quick instead of thinking about it.
He said mental slavery.
Nah, basically he was like, 400 years of slavery. That sounds like a choice. And then like the two other guys that said it too were kind of just like, and he was like, you know, like you're mentally enslaved, and I'm trying to break that because the 400 years of slavery ended, but people are still mentally enslaved.
Are people still mentally enslaved, Jews?
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. I don't know. Probably still, because
we've spoke about the problems for years, haven't we?
What?
But I'm a solutions guy. And I'm not gonna.
What is the solution now?
I know that's it.
Do you know what? Just imagine.
This is what I
That's
always.
the question.
I always
I'm
avoid
not
these kind of
disregard
topics.
what's happened.
Education.
But
Education
I like
for
that.
who? Because this ignorance is.
It's ignorance,
But who
man.
teaches who?
Got both, isn't it?
Who teaches who?
Who want?
A Jewish Catholic nun.
Exactly.
Do they want to be
With one
taught?
With one
Do the ignorant want to be taught? 'Cause the education's out there. It's a freaking information age, internet's there.
No,
just
but the thing
Google.
is,
It doesn't matter.
it's
It doesn't
like-
matter about do we want to be taught. Do they want to be taught? It's not. Do I want to see fuckery on, like, in front of my face at the time? No, but I'm seeing it.
Yeah, but you
If
got
we
the power,
surround
you got
these
the power to
people-
interpret that however you want.
If we surround these people and push education, like Spark's saying, for example, and they don't want to see it, they'll have to see it. They'll have to see it.
No, but okay, but to go to the Kanye thing, then Kanye said, 400 years of slavery." That sounds like a choice because he's kind of saying it as if the people that were slaves didn't try and revolt and didn't try and not be slaves.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's
They
what.
didn't
That's
team
what,
up and try and do
yeah,
something.
but that
or-
happened, and for him to say that, he must not have known that happened. He must
But
not have known that there were slave
in terms
revolts
of
and
all of
the
it,
ones that
the thing I
tried
don't
not
get
to.
is that Kanye's family were activists.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I'm not following. This is why I think it was a bit of a. This was the chink in the armour, so to speak.
Oh, bro, we're talking about racism, and you try to bring up words like
What
that.
is wrong with you?
You're savage, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is what's
Chinking
wrong.
now.
So you think Chinese people in armour?
Anyway, before this boy said that, it makes me question. That's the point where I was talking about, like, the mental health situation and what was going on, because really Kanye does know his history, realistically, from time his parents have been so involved in the movements that his parents were in and whatever. Now, in terms of mental slavery, what do I think? I think that the way that the children need to understand is, like, when we was in school, the only thing that black people were taught to be playing a part in history was slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, but we know this.
Now, that sets your mind on a path.
It either puts you down or makes you
Either
angry.
puts you down, makes you angry, because all the white kids at school used to turn around. You know when
Yes.
slavery used to happen, all the white kids would turn around and look at you like this, and you're like, yeah, okay. Now,
Do you know what? Let me cut you, whatever I'm doing. My little brother here, two-tone sounds. He's 16 years old. 2 or 3 years ago, this is mad, 16, this is the new generation, yeah. 3 years ago, he was in class, right? And believe it or not, he's the black kid in school, you get me? Like, don't start, Adrian's gonna start. Is it just me you give the light skin jokes about? Right?
your brother's cool.
My mum was getting
Just you.
called a fucking nigger at school in this day and age. He was getting called a wog in this day and age. The teacher said, who in this class, and how many white kids is there in the class?
29.
Exactly.
Right. Who in this class, what was it, would keep slave?
They were like,
Right. The teacher asked that.
What?
yeah.
Listen.
No.
He was like, he went over like how slavery works and how much money they get, and he's like, how the system works, and
Man knows the system.
and he's like, so who out of all of you would
End of a slave or something.
who out of all of you would have slaves?
Would be a slave owner.
Yeah,
And how many people put their hands up?
like 28.
Blood clean.
28?
Yo, this is 2000 and what are we in now? This is 2016.
No, it's not.
No.
No,
this
when
is-
that happened, yeah,
2 years ago.
28.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
isn't 1990.
Whatever.
That
90.
is crazy.
Like, that's madness,
This is-
isn't it? So what are we doing? Because we keep going over the set. My mum was bullied at school for being black. I was bullied at school for being black. My little brother started to get bullied at school for being black until I started visiting houses. Am I lying? What the same things are happening.
So what we're doing to
We need a formula. What was it that I mentioned? And I said there's prevention is better than
cure.
yeah, like the firefighters. The whole thing to do. I was training to be a firefighter at one point, and the whole thing they do is instead of putting out fires, let's prevent the fires.
Yeah.
So instead of like cleaning up this mess in the police force or government. Let's put in some prevention. And I don't see what's being put in. Like, how are we educating or preventing racism before it happens? So then we don't have to deal with the tail end of it.
But do you have like a suggestion? Because how do you try and stop a family of racism? Sorry, a family of racists. How do you stop them from being racist and then filtering it through to the younger generations?
First of all, I've made the step already. When I play Chris Brown Freaky Friday, I play the radio edit.
Yes.
I do actually do that.
Yes.
I'm that winner.
Yeah.
I think we were in a nice space at one point. I feel like now it's going crazy. Before it was nuts, and in between there was a nice space where we didn't really care about colour, you know.
Yeah.
There was obviously we're always gonna have racism, but now it's getting fully just shoved down our faces, and we speak about it that much that it's dividing more and more and more.
Well, it's just bringing basically.
Do you remember when people would be? Do you remember if somebody in the street shouted "nigger"? They probably could get arrested. There's no repercussions at this point in time.
There's no.
Anyone can say anything. We got to a nice space, but
I think the music though doesn't help with that. Like black people in general, like most songs you're gonna be calling, especially Americans, and that there's a lot of nigger, this, that, red, tear. So when it comes to people saying back the lyrics, do you know what I mean? They're gonna feel it's gonna be normal to them to say that, and then they're gonna feel like, why can't I use that word? Then you use that so freely,
but we've allowed them to use it.
Well, yeah. Why do you feel like they shouldn't?
Why should they not use that word?
Yeah.
You know what? He said something a few weeks ago on his podcast.
Yeah, I've been waiting to ask
that, when he said that, I was like, I wanted to start clapping, but I was driving. But he said something on his podcast the other day about it, and I was like, yo, that is the exact same thing what I mean. That's the reason why.
For people that don't know, I said Nicki Minaj has got a lyric with Chris Brown where she comes in on the 16 and she's like, it ain't your spit game, it's your dick game. Got me da-da-da-da. And every time I hear that tune, I go, it ain't your spit game, it's your... And I pause, and then I spit the rest of it. Because I don't want to be singing that, because that's not for me to sing.
Yeah.
So when people hear the word, nigga, they should be going, yo, man, and then they carry on, still enjoy, but that word's not for you.
Yeah.
I'm not with it one bit. I'm starting to get heated, because the other day I was at a beach club, and you know what as well, I see the world. Like, I go around and I play in different countries, and I see people screaming the words.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel fucking horrible. It makes me feel horrible. I get vexed, and I shy away from certain tunes.
But if
I saw a white girl the other day dancing, she was a podium dancer, dancing, you know the what's it face?
Yeah.
She's doing that face, the Millie Rock face, we'll call it.
The Millie Rock face.
Dancing.
I didn't even know it had a face, you know, but I know what you're on about. I know exactly what you're on about.
For the listeners, when you put your bum
Millie Rock
right,
face,
screw
you
up
know.
your face. Singing Chris Brown, I woke up in Chris Brown's body. Nigga. I wonder if I can say nigga. And this white girl's dancing, going nigga. And I'm just like, you're fucking disgusting. You should not be saying that continuously.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it.
even if
I'm not with it.
even if the intent isn't to offend.
Yeah, that's what it is. They say, and it's
just
a
part of the
majority
song.
of people. It's just about a song, so it's harmless.
Having fun.
It's not harmless though, and we need to educate people and say, yo, that word's not harmless. If I see anyone say the word, my brethrens have said it. I got white brethrens that have thought they're cool. Yo, don't rap that, bro.
But why is it?
It's more difficult for me to confront someone about it because they don't know what the fuck I am.
Why is it harmful?
Why is it harmful?
Yeah.
What?
Why
I
is
don't
it?
understand.
Why is the
I
word
don't
nigger?
understand that question.
Why is the
Juice.
word nigger in 2018 harmful?
Do you know why?
I'm just like, why?
Are you mad? I don't get that.
Why is it harmful?
What? I don't know how to
I feel
answer
like
that
I
logically.
feel like the harm off that word. Yeah, like it was a lot more effective years ago, but so much rappers use it this day and age in normal texting songs. It's diluted it then because more people feel.
Juice. What's the F word? What's the F word, Juice?
Fuck off, faggot.
Yeah. The second one.
Second one, yeah.
Say it.
Faggot.
Say it loads.
Faggot. There's nothing wrong with that word if I don't mean to intend anyone.
Okay, cool.
Say that to someone who is...
No, if I call someone a faggot, that's...
So what? You can't call people faggots now?
You can't call anyone faggot.
Okay, so you can't call someone a nigger then.
But if you're singing the Chris Brown chorus, you're not calling people
that word's
niggas.
not for you. We've got we've got the gay community.
If the song goes, if Chris Brown was gay,
empowered. We've got the gay community that are more empowered, more protected, and more looked after than black people.
Okay, so if the song,
because you say that word on national TV,
you finished.
You can't say.
What's true? Say you can't say nigger on national TV. You can't say that.
True.
And if people say nigger, there's usually outrage.
Yeah.
If Chris Brown was gay and he said, I'm that faggot.
Okay.
What do you want What do you think that note, fam?
Your man's got vocal range.
I believe he was a rapper. That was sick. But if he was singing that over and over again, would we be singing it?
I'd sing it.
Do you know what? I ain't gonna.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, I wouldn't sing it, but why couldn't I sing it?
Nah.
Why couldn't I?
Nah.
No, but I wouldn't. But why couldn't I? If I'm a straight man, why can't I sing I'm that faggot?
Nah, bro.
Why not? Why?
Because
I'm
it's
asking.
offensive because of the word.
It's offensive to say I'm that faggot as a straight man.
I hear what Juice is saying still because there's a lot.
Don't side with him, bro. He's just said
No, don't get me wrong. Not with that much still. Yeah.
No, I'm just like examples
when there's times there's lyrics like okay, for instance, there's bashment tunes, yeah. And there's probably what's the tune, man?
My crew, my dog.
Some of them bashment tunes.
Freaking Vibes got, is it Virginity or something like that?
Yeah.
I think there's a woman lyric in it, but obviously I don't mean to know the words, but I know the words. Yeah. Sometimes if I'm driving, I might just sing along with the thing, you know them ones. But that's just comes naturally.
Blood from my frack and that.
But you just hear that.
But I couldn't hear them ones.
I know, but I sing along though.
Yeah, you like.
Sometimes naturally, I don't sing along to certain things, you know.
Certain things I won't sing along to.
Don't get me wrong.
Are you screaming "Bon out of Chichi"?
Boy, I have, you know. I can't say I haven't.
I've done it in the past, but
I have, but do you know what? I've never been homophobic, and I've liked that tune. But then I've been educated and thought, you know what? Shouldn't be saying that, you know.
But that's different because it's saying "Bon out
it's not different. Why are we saying? You know, I've just said "Bon out of Chichi." Right, I'm screaming "Bon out of Chichi," and then I go, do you know what? Actually, when I deep it, I think. You know, that's not nice, you know, for gay people to be hearing.
No, but that's different.
Yo, when they're hearing the word nigger, do you know what? That might not be nice for black people to hear.
They're not saying bon out. They're saying bon out niggas.
It's not nice for us to hear that.
The song's saying bon out niggas. It's saying bon out chichis. It's just like that's cause harm to gay people. You get me? That's the meaning of that lyric.
Yeah, but they don't like that word.
Yeah, but I don't think they like it followed by bon out.
But let us know that they don't like that word. We need to start educating people and let them know they can't use that word.
But if the song was, I'm not chichi.
You singing these way too easy, man. Singing these bars way too easy.
That's got vocal. But if that was a song and people were singing it,
I'm not having it.
Nah.
I'll tell you what. I swear, if I was a little bit darker, I'd be a much better activist. But it's difficult for me.
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying, but I'm saying like
I hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's like
I just think it.
But I don't understand why you letting it loose. What if you hear what I'm saying, why are you not backing the thing?
Cause the rappers have already put it in place.
I'm putting an argument
they've
forward.
They've said it so much now. It's been rinsed.
So we're just giving up.
Nah, it's not. Don't get me wrong. You know, everyone will know.
It's small little things like this that make a big difference. You know.
When you say giving up, what's the fight?
Stopping white people from saying it.
Listen.
But why are we fighting?
Why? Because you do a little thing like this and it sets a precedent.
Yeah, it does. Because people feel like they can say it more because of that.
Think about
people are being violated.
Think about this, yeah. We see all this racism stuff thrown in our face, yeah? Now, like the other day, one police officer must have pulled over a woman. And she says, oh, don't shoot me. And the police officer says, no, it's all right, ma'am. We don't shoot black people.
I've seen that.
Now, the fact is that...
Well, he's not lying, is he?
He's not lying.
No, I'm joking.
But it's a case that he felt comfortable enough to say that to
was
someone.
Was the woman was white?
Yeah. Not
He
knowing
felt
he's getting
comfortable
recorded.
enough to say that. The amount of
Do you
things
think
that
black
happen-
people are really being murdered like that?
Yeah.
Do you think white people are really are being murdered the same?
Some
Yeah.
are.
More.
Have you heard?
Is that-
I always think about black on black crime, and we hear the statistics about black on black crime. I disregard that because I want to know the statistics on white crime, so then I can evaluate
And
or
percentages.
or whatever. Yeah, because
I mean, the stats. I can't say statistics, whatever. The stats change if you take into consideration the population.
yeah,
There's a lot more white people, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
obviously white on white crime's going to be a lot higher. But if you do it,
No, but percentage is a percentage,
Yeah,
isn't it?
percentage-wise, it is actually higher black on black. I think.
I believe it would be because you tend to find more dealers being black, innit? Mainly, and most of the trouble when it comes to crime like
that's
that.
that's a mad statement because we don't know that.
Yeah,
We don't know
we don't
that,
know
but
the
that's
numbers.
what I believe. That's what I believe. In my day-to-day life, when I see people in England or whatever, majority. If I'm going looking for, then let's say I'm looking for. But I was in London yesterday and I was walking through. I walked past 1 million white geezers, and it was black geezers saying to me, "Yo, you want weed?" Do you know what I mean? So,
But you got to understand the reason why I think some of that is because he will identify with you.
And he'll be comfortable
Yes.
to say that to you.
yes.
Whereas a white geezer, if he says about
Yeah,
weed, because you're gonna go,
Yo,
you
fam,
what?
we are saying that for. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
the
true,
reason
that's
why I
true,
think
that's
it's
true,
different.
that's true.
And a lot of that is like we don't realize it because we see our own culture. We see, yeah, you're like me, you're like me, you're like me. I recognise you, I recognise you,
yeah.
I'm familiar
Yeah.
with you. Now, if it was a white man, he can say, I know you, you're the man who I get for weed, you're the black man, don't really want to give more money to you, so I'll go to the white man over there because I know him. You see what I'm saying? So we can only say it from our perspective. We don't really know. People, we paint this picture of black people just selling drugs. Yo, there's bare crime in terms of drug coming from white people.
Yeah,
However,
this
it's just that you got to realise that sometimes the black stereotype is pushed out there, but we're only going to see what we recognise because we're not hearing the white
Listen
one.
to this.
Yeah,
Listen to
very
this.
true.
You're just talking about drug dealers and the black stereotype and this and that. This is what I'm talking about. And it's took me to leave the area, to leave certain areas to different countries and realise everybody's got a struggle. Everybody's being abused. Everybody, whatever. I'm living in Dubai with the rich black kids. I've got a friend that's a prince. Like his entourage are not struggling. It's not the same. Like we're like, oh, black people are being abused, being struck. There's a lot of black people winning out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, there's a lot of white people being abused, and there's a lot of Indians being abused, and there's a lot. It's just a whole mix. But I just really think that media's really fucking us up, and we believe in any and everything we see.
I can agree with that.
And the worst thing is it's very difficult to. We can bang on and on about the problems, but we do need a solution. Like, there needs to be solutions, and
But I think with solution, you've got to look at like, what's the motive for one? If the government sat there and said, okay, then cool, we need to bring everyone to be equal here, then education from day dot would change.
Yeah,
It'd be
it
more
would.
positive because
I think music that wants
that's
to
what it is.
music that like inspires me and motivates me to sell crack and punch geezers up. I don't know, you know.
I don't know who makes music like that.
Yo, sorry, man.
But
Sorry, I needed like a. I wanted to talk to you guys though.
No, but on a real though,
Because you can go round and round in loops and
Yeah.
you can keep going.
Yeah, okay. But I think at the end of the day, it is education. And as I said before, if all children were taught that, yo, this is everybody's history, not just the white man's history. This is a bit of the Indian man's history. This is the black man's history.
Yeah.
This is the such man's history. Children will be growing up with a better understanding
of
of
what's
the
going
whole
on,
world
yeah.
of different races. Different
Maybe we
cultures.
shouldn't teach history.
We do
I don't-
teach history.
What?
No, we
Somebody else's
shouldn't.
History.
No, but maybe we shouldn't.
I don't
Because
understand
you know what?
why.
I think in theory a parent should teach their history.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that's it.
The school should.
I don't
do
think
it.
the school should do it because it's very biased.
And maybe not. Like maybe you say, I don't want black history taught by a white person because they're gonna have a different perspective. So then we bring the black teacher in, and then the Indian guy goes, or the whatever guy goes, oh, well, you're not teaching our shit right, and then we have some, and it just gets a bit messy. Maybe we should just sack it off.
True.
We've sorted it then. We've solved racism from a grassroots level.
Boom.
I mean, to be fair, with so many other things being cut from the curriculum, do we need history? Do we need history to be essential? Because it's essential at the moment, isn't it?
No, it's not essential.
It's not an essential.
It's
What do you
basic.
use it for?
Up to
No,
key
but
stage
it's the
three-
basic.
Up to key stage 3 it is, but after that it can get cut.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you learn about slavery, like...
You learn about slavery, you learn about the...
Yeah, in case...
I don't even think you should learn about that.
Elizabethans.
Tate and Lyle.
I don't think you learn about that.
Nah, never.
And the national the museum in London, the Tate Museum.
I love Tates.
Tits or Tates?
Oh, sorry, your accent. Yeah.
The Tate gallery down in London,
I don't even know, you know.
based on what is a sugar magnet from way back.
I feel like Sparkle should get a mic, you know.
I've said they don't want to talk, you know. He's
Nah,
always whispering.
he says he doesn't want to talk, but you
Yes.
know when someone's like at a family party and you're like, yo, I don't sing for us. Sing. They're like, no, really. And then you get the mic and they're like, oh.
That is Sparks.
That is Spark.
Alright, let's move it on a bit still.
No, you say...
No, I say what's good.
No, you say what's good and I say it back again.
You said what's good?
No, you start then.
Yo, what's good? It's the Hardfood Podcast.
Back again.
My name's Juice English.
Saxon King.
And make sure you subscribe to the... Nah, fuck it up. Hey, somebody let Juice look at his notes.